From tourism sector, it seems the government has not yet optimized Indonesia ocean potential, especially on its tourism sector. Poor performance of the tourism made the Ministry of Tourism set higher target for marine tourism in 2000.
Indonesia is considered to be the biggest archipelago country in the world, with 2/3 of the country's area consists of ocean. Unfortunately, government seems to not yet optimize the existing potential of Indonesia ocean, be it from fishery or tourism sector. Minister of Tourism Arif Yahya stated that contribution from national marine tourism in the state revenue is still low. From the total revenue, the sector is reported to only contribute about 10% or equal with $1 billion. Therefore, looking at this fact, the ministry is setting higher target from the sector of $4 billion with expectation it could improve the sector performance in the future.
Kesalahan kita tidak fokus. Kekayaan alam bawah laut kita juga paling besar. 2/3 dari terumbu karang terindah di dunia itu adanya di Indonesia. 68%, bahkan lebih dari 2/3. Itu bahkan kita sendiri orang Indonesia tidak tahu akan hal itu. Harusnya ini yang harus kita kembangkan, bahwa dari segi 3 karang dunia itu hampir 2/3-nya ada di Indonesia. Nah, sekarang sudah saya putuskan minimal harus ada 12 event dalam 1 tahun yang terkait dengan keindahan alam kita.
Arif Yahya stated that one factor which hampers the growth of national marine tourism, the infrastructure. According to him, there hasn't been a proper access yet for tourists to go to the place with beautiful marine tourism. Thus, the government will be developing the infrastructure to support the sector performance and realize the target of tourists coming to Indonesia by 20 million in 2019. Jakarta, Ayu Arianti and Aji Ibrahim for MNC Business.
Back on Economic Buzz, this program can also be seen through StarHub Asia Channel 121 Singapore. With me, Anggi Pasaribu and Nico Barito, Special Envoy of President Seychelles for Asean, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Seychelles. All right, so Mr. Nico, we continue our discussion before. You mentioned about the Forum of Small Medium Enterprise Asia-Africa. So is it the good opportunities for Indonesia and Africa itself to work together, especially and support the economic growth?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I feel it's very fundamental.
Yeah.
Because in many countries, you see small, medium enterprise are grassroots players.
Yeah.
When I say grassroots players, I mean, they are really a true, talented local economy people. And I believe Indonesia itself also have a very high growth from the small, medium enterprise, small, medium business, and the cooperative sectors.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in Africa. The same thing happened in Seychelles. The big players, the macroeconomic players, they know where to go and they know what to do. But the medium and the small-scale business need some guidance. To that respect, back in 2013 to 2014, few countries from Africa, to mention like Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Seychelles, Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, and few countries from ASEAN, Myanmar, Laos, Brunei, Cambodia, and of course Indonesia started this forum together. And the co-chair of the forum today is Indonesia and Seychelles. The government of Indonesia is very generous to host the secretariat in Indonesia. So what else do we need to say? We have to thank so much the commitment of the government of Indonesia on SME.
Yeah.
And for this, we have to move forward.
Yeah.
We have to bridge the gap. We have to give opportunity for stronger collaborations. The market of the world to come is Africa.
Yeah.
There are 1.2 billion people or more in Africa, with one ASEAN community of 680 million probably. So this twinning of ASEAN and Africa will build a very, very conducive and profound realistic business collaborations.
And hopefully it will be going very well.
Yes. Well, I mean, I would like to comment a little bit on what Minister Arif of Tourism mentioned just now in the background of our discussions. I feel like Indonesia is a big archipelago.
Yeah,
you have more than 17,000 islands.
Islands.
And what is Seychelles to compare with Indonesia? We are small, we are tiny. but we are trying to share some of our success story. We are trying to share how we manage to promote tourism, how we manage to highlight and get added high value margin for the tourism sectors. For this, I mentioned early in our discussion tonight, we don't want to overbuild Seychelles, but what we can do, we can share our best experience and help more small islands in Indonesia to develop and transform under the brand image, under the code of good practice of Seychelles, and under the network of marketing of Seychelles. I believe there are more islands can survive, and more islands which are known only as small islands, isolated, difficult to reach, can become a paradise. I mean, we have started this scheme. We have started to work with Nias Island in Indonesia. So we are profiling and supporting Nias Island. There is a very reason to do that, because Nias and Seychelles is so close. We are both in Indian Oceans. So we are helping them with the master planning. We are helping them with the capacity building, upgrading the human resources, putting appropriate planning and strategy, and link them up to our affiliated tourism investment. And hopefully this year we will be building a few facilities and hotels in Nias. This will make Nias being one of the world-known third serving spots of the world, right? And it's not where, but I mean, it's there. So if we upgrade it and touch it a little bit, it will be something. Similar cooperations have started between Seychelles and Rawan Island in East Kalimantan. So another similar concept that we are doing. And we are also working with private sectors in Belitung. We are also having a joint collaboration with Lampung for Krakatau. And we do also have some collaborations in NTT, Nusa Tenggara Timur, for some of the islands over there. Seychelles always try to fetch the guests. We always try to go around the world to bring them to Seychelles. We have to make things happen. And to do that, every year also, there are Indonesian delegations, there are Indonesian culture that perform in our international carnival, the Victoria.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, so make sure you are still with us on Economic Buzz. We will be back after the break.